I do have to ask you, though, because we've seen so much of the NFL pushing for international play, all the games taking place overseas. Yeah. We've seen it with the NBA. They're playing more games. They're trying to build a league more in Europe. Now, when it comes to baseball, yes, we know the history of baseball in Japan. They love it there. But you don't see a whole lot of international play for Major League Baseball teams. We know the Mariners were there, and it was kind of part of an Ichiro deal to bring him back to take on the A's to begin the season. But why do you think, in your mind, Bill, have we seen not as much with Major League Baseball heading to other countries?
Well, it just hasn't taken hold in Europe. That's what you're thinking about. You're thinking about Europe. Because when you think about Latin America, baseball is very integrated there, and a bevy of talent. Well over 30% of our league comes from Latin America. And then you think about, the Pacific Rim or playing in the Far East. Korea's got a great league. We're getting players out of Korea. Japan's been around forever, and they're infatuated with the game and have produced some incredible players, as we well know. The best guy in the game, right? Ohtani comes from there. Of course, we had Ichiro. So I think it's Europe. And the problem in Europe is that they just don't have the field space. And that soccer field doesn't translate well into a baseball field. 30 years ago or so, I was in Germany for an international deal. And it was so funny because the players could hit, the players could field, but we had them throwing in the gym. It was like a shooting gallery. Balls are rifling everywhere. They just don't throw. They kick. So I think there's a long ways to go in Europe for sure.
Well, I think the WBC, as we've talked about throughout the spring, I love the fact that when they put these players on their home country team, you start to see, these players from Major League Baseball, when you start to see what countries they're from, it does help us all understand just how popular this sport is in those countries. Dominican Republic, I mean, Julio and those guys are just coming up and killing it. And you see the murderer's row of the lineup that they have on those teams, and you're like, wow, it really is a reminder of just where a lot of the baseball talent comes from.
And a surprise to me was Dominic Canzone in Italy. They didn't do bad.
Italy
they
had
made
a
nice
strong
little
run in the WBC.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of stretch on whether you're an Italian or
exactly. I mean, we say that all the time. We joke about it.
Your name looks like it's got 5 syllables. You're on the team. I mean, I don't think we're going to see now. Italy's a power. We're going to be scouts are all over Italy now after watching the WBC.
Maybe it was more the tie-ins, like your mom lived in Italy for a year.
Right. I mean, it's a real stretch. But they had fun, with the whole shots of espresso and kind of reveling in the moment. Yeah, and playing with hey, house money, who cares? We're just going to have fun. And boy, it took them almost all
And I'll say this, for somebody that spent 27 days in Italy, I don't remember seeing a Mariners jersey over there. A lot of soccer uniforms and kits and stuff.
Yeah. That's right.
So if you have a name of Pasquantino, Caglione, anything that sounds,
you're in. You're on the team.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Anybody that ends with an I or an IE,
you're on Italy.
You're in.
But they did have a good run there. But it is cool to see. We talk about the players. Maybe we know that Brian Wu turned down an invitation to play for the U.S. and they have their reasons for playing and for not playing. But a lot of those guys like to protect their bodies for that long season, Bill.
Well, he hasn't cashed in yet, and he's got a history of injury, and I just think they're trying to proceed with caution with Brian. He's super wanting to – I know he wanted to be there, but this is a guy that's trying to define his career and be able to make the money that he can possibly make out of the game. And so you're proceeding with caution with Brian Wu, and that's why he's not there. And hopefully at some point when he gets the deal, maybe he'll have the next chance.
Yeah. All right. We'll see what happens there.